$4,000, dude, is what this is saying. And I'm talking about brand. I'm looking at the prices brand new.
Oh, you're looking at brand new.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like I'm not considering used if I'm going to spend $10,000. That's all. That's my theory here.
Oh.
Hi y'all. Hey y'all. Hi guys. I'm Patrick,
I'm Adam.
and welcome to
Properly Wow.
where we offer you a consumer's opinion on everything watch related. But today,
No watches. Lots of watches.
well, kind of watches, guys. We are going to give you our opinion on the best 3-watch collection under $10,000. Now today, the sky's the limit. There are no restrictions on what we're doing. This is another game for the channel. However, it's more of an exercise that we found, at least with our commenters and what we've gathered from you guys, that this has just been a really fun way to exercise our collecting brains to see what we would do if we had X amount of money.
This is so hard.
It is really difficult. $10,000 is a lot to spend, guys. I started with a watch that I know I'm going to own one day, and I sort of just went from there. And that watch, I guess I'll start.
Yeah, do it. Just do it.
So yeah, guys, I've always had an affinity for Omega. Omega is probably my favorite watch brand. More to the point is what I was saying earlier, that this is an exercise to see what we find important in our watch collecting habits and what we would do if we're restricted to the number of watches we own. And for me, the first watch I thought of was sort of what got me, and I feel like probably 90% of us into watches, is a dive watch. And again, like I was saying, I love Omega. My father wore an Omega during his time in the service, and it's lasted him a lifetime. So, the way his watches stood up over time has sort of encouraged me to look into that brand as well. And I absolutely love the new Omega Seamaster 300 series. I think there's a lot of different trims for that particular model of watch, and you're going to be seeing some images right now, and I'll show you some different variations of the watch. But the Omega Seamaster 300 is actually modeled after its predecessor under the same name that aesthetically looks damn near identical. Aside from the bezel, I'll say. The bezel is a slight deviation, but the Seamaster 300 is pretty much the same watch it was when it originally came out. And it uses their new master coaxial movement. It has a lot of different technologies baked in there, but as you guys know, at least from me, aesthetically, it's just brilliant. I think it's, again, there's a few watches out there that I consider to be perfect watches. A few reviews back, I mentioned the Polar Explorer being one of those perfect watches, sort of like the epitome of what Rolex does. And I feel like the Seamaster 300 is sort of the epitome of what Omega does, even more so than the Seamaster Professional. I think this watch is the one to own, to get. So you can get this watch on a leather strap or a bracelet, and the trimming changes, but the one thing that really doesn't is the sort of aged tritium lume that they apply to the dial. It's supposed to look like a vintage timepiece, and I know it's just a throwback to that original 300. It's not my favorite thing, but for this watch, it surprisingly works very well. So that's sort of my only hold back about this particular timepiece. But if I were to get one Omega, I think that's sort of the one I would want. It's downright my favorite. At any rate, those run about $4,000. So on my $10,000 budget, you can knock off about if I'm buying it brand new, and I'm not talking about the platinum version, I'm not talking about the Spectre limited edition, I'm just talking about all black bezel, black dial, all steel, Omega Seamaster 300, about 4K. That's my first choice.
Okay.
Yeah, on bracelet. Gotta get it on bracelet.
I'm gonna go with
Gavix.
Grand Seiko SBGE001. Also known as the badass GMT with the sapphire bezel. Yeah, so this is really hard. So I'm trying to keep
That's a spring drive, right?
Yeah, spring drive. So I'm trying to keep this to more modern pieces, because if we were including vintage, like I don't even know which direction I'd go. I'd probably do like an original 62 Moss and like an old Speedy and something else. So I'm trying to
range too. It's
crazy. So I'm gonna try and stay like somewhat modern. So that's gonna be my first one. It's a super awesome, sporty Grand Seiko with incredible finish.
If you've never seen this
images
watch,
now, especially in person.
A couple images. Oh my
God. So it has the beautiful Zoratsu finishing, a bunch of combinations of polished and brushed. It has a sapphire coated bezel that just glistens in the light like
This one's
none
limited,
other.
by the way.
No, this is not the limited. This is not the gold accent one. This is just the standard.
Oh, you mean the all black? This is the
all black, yeah, with
okay,
the silver accent. The gold one's like an extra like $2,000, and I don't. That's too much of this $10,000 budget.
I'm gonna put a picture of that one up so you can see it.
Yeah.
This is honestly one of Seiko's like sexiest watches
Yeah,
right now.
but this one,
I don't throw that word around.
This one is like I think you can get it anywhere from $3,000 to $3,500 pre-owned. So that's the price that I'm gonna be going with this one. We'll say $3,500 for a nice good example. But it has the spring drive movement. I think it's a relatively new piece. It was only announced like several years ago or something like that. Yeah.
Spring drive GMT, 3,500.
Yeah.
Almost as much as an Omega. You know, I handed to Grand Seiko though. You guys know I own a Grand Seiko. The build quality is on par with any other Swiss or German brand.
Oh yeah.
That's in a competitive range or above that.
Yeah.
So that's. I definitely think that's worth $3,500.
So that's my first pick. And spring drive, some people are kind of, some people think spring drive's kind of lame because it's still sort of a quartz, but not really. But I'm all for the technology and I think it's really cool. So that's my first pick.
Oh, Seiko's always pushing boundaries.
Oh yeah.
And that's a real special piece. Now, whether it's going to stand the test of time, I'd love to find out on a $10,000 budget.
Yeah.
Shoot, I didn't even think Seiko for this video. I kind of okay, so we started in Switzerland with my choices, and the next choice I have. So guys, you don't know this on the channel. Before I give my opinion on it, I want to wear it a little bit longer. I can give you my opinion on the customer service though, but I'm wearing a Ball right now, and I bought this watch a little while ago. This is a Ball Moonglow, NM1020C, I believe is the reference number. Ball has been a brand that's been on my radar for a while, and Adam has expressly told me he hated the group a little while ago. I know you don't think much of it, but I've been looking and researching into their watches, and I'm shitting on your opinion. But I remember you joked about it. I talked about getting a Ball before, and you're like, no, you shouldn't.
I probably said something like that, yeah.
But the thing is, it's like one of those Swiss groups that's, and it was an American group, by the way, and it starts, but it's one of those currently owned Swiss groups that just doesn't get enough attention or much appreciation as it deserves. But this watch, I likened it to the quality feel of my Grand Seiko on the wrist. As a matter of fact, to this date, I haven't put a watch on my wrist that has felt this good. This Ball Moonglow feels so damn good, and there's so many original innovations that they. Let me just get to my watch. So guys, I'm considering a Ball Fahrenheit. This is part of the Trainmaster series, so they've got a lot of different series of watches. They've got the engineers, the firemen, they have the Engineer Master 2s. They've got a huge series of watches, and basically all that means is the form and function of the watch. So the Trainmaster series is all about time accuracy. And of course, they're a little bit larger clocks because they're also supposed to be legible. But what's unique about the Fahrenheit line, and there's a Fahrenheit and there's a Celsius, and these are both limited edition watches. I believe there's only 120 of each version. I would have to get the Fahrenheit with the silver sunburst dial on a bracelet. I don't think they sell that stock, but I would call them up and see if I can work that out. By the way, customer service at Ball is phenomenal. You call them, they answer immediately, at least in the US. But this watch runs about, I think, $2,500, not even that much for a limited edition watch. But the key feature here, guys, I believe it's a 41mm case. The key feature is it tells you the temperature. So not only, in Fahrenheit, obviously, but not only is this watch shock resistant and anti-magnetic, it tells you the temperature, and it doesn't read ambient temperature like off your wrists. I don't know how they've managed it, but they've engineered this caliber movement that's based off of a ETA 2892, I believe, that tells the temperature, and it tells you on a sub-dial on the in the 6 o'clock position. And of course you're looking at some images now. It's going to be tough finding quality images for you, so excuse me if the renderings don't look great. The watch is a little bit of an oddity. But I'm sure they're around, but I've never seen a watch that tells the temperature. I know they're around, I've just never seen it. Yeah. And it blew me away. And I just love the aesthetic and the feel of Ball, that I can trust that this watch would be killer.
Yeah.
Absolutely killer. And the sizing's right for me. By the way, both my watch options have been about 41mm in width.
I'm going to look this up on Instagram real quick.
Which one, the Ball?
Yeah.
That's a sick little piece, guys. And of course, you're looking at images now, or I threw some up already. I'm actually looking up images myself at this moment. It's absolutely beautiful. The one thing I will say about it that I dislike is that it says limited edition on the dial. It was very, very unnecessary. Otherwise, the watch is absolutely stunning. all over. That silver sunburst dial is just intense. Absolutely intense.
Cool.
But that's my second option. So that puts me roughly at $6,500.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, my number 2 pick. Watch I've actually wanted for quite some time now. That's pretty cool. Is the Zenith El Primero tricolor. You can post a picture of that.
There's a couple, there's a lot of El Primeros out there now.
There are a lot of them, and it's kind of a shame because the El Primero movement or El Primero name isn't really attached to one specific watch, which kind of sucks. But the tricolor has these big, massive subdials. I think it's like 38 millimeters or something like that. It has some pretty straight lugs on there.
Each subdial is 38 millimeters?
38 millimeters. No, but yeah, there you go.
Oh.
There's the tri.
Oh, so we know this
Actually,
one.
hold on.
I'll try to find it.
Is that the right one? That might not even be the right one. This one's a little bit off.
Look at the right one.
But that's okay.
It's
Anyways,
so gorgeous.
It's absolutely beautiful. The super oversized subdials kind of like overlap.
They do that first with the overlapping subdials. It's a really good aesthetic.
It's the same. It has the same color scheme as like the 1969 El Primero, the original.
Is it high beat or is it?
Yeah, it's a high beat. Yep.
Okay.
All the El Primero movements are high beat, so it beats 36,000 beats per second. So that chronograph hand, once you engage, is just sweeping like almost like a spring drive. Mm-hmm. Ironically, both my picks are extremely smooth sweeping hands, but yeah. So I've always kind of wanted. I saw it in person for the first, or I saw it on someone's wrist in the wild for the first time ever earlier this summer, and it just looked so badass. And that's another watch that it comes on a really cool bracelet, but you can swap it out on a leather and it'll look just as fly.
You know what's interesting, guys? I've never actually seen a Zenith in person. I'd love if you guys own a Zenith El Primero. Definitely hashtag properly wound on Instagram. I'd love to see it on the wrist. Your personal model, or just post it on the Facebook. I'm really interested in getting one in hand. I've never seen one. I like there's a square case, a rectangular case Zenith El Primero that I absolutely love with a rose.
There it is.
Rose gold dial.
Love that.
Oh damn, that Minitrack is slick.
Oh yeah. Sexy watch. You guys are seeing images of it right now, hopefully.
Yeah,
so
I'll post a few, and of course if there's different variations.
Cut this part out too.
Yeah.
But that's my number 2 pick. So Grand Seiko and a Zenith so far. A little out of left field, but still very worthy choices.
Yeah, I'm probably going to fall a little shy of the $10,000 mark here.
Sorry, $4,000 for that one. So I'm at 7,500 right now.
You're at 7,500. You have 2,500 left.
Yeah.
So you have 2,500. I have 3,500. My next watch is a little under $3,000. I just couldn't. Any other piece I was considering would kind of break that 10K mark, and this way I'll have a little bit of clearance to like buy accessories or maybe tools, pretending that I don't have anything yet in my collection. So we started in Switzerland, and then we moved over to a different part of Switzerland with American Heritage, with the ball. And now we have a German piece, and I've owned one of these watches before, and I've seen this particular model in the flesh, and it's so eye-catching and just so beautiful. I can't describe this watch well enough, but this is a 356. I believe it's a Mark II Flieger from Sinn. So this is German-made, German design. It utilizes a copper dial. So it's sort of throwback. There are some older chronographs that utilize copper dials, and you saw this one too.
Yeah, very cool.
It's so slick. I'm absolutely in love with this dial face, and I love Sinn chronographs. So the sizing on this guy is a little bit smaller than the other two. I believe it's a 38.5 millimeter case design. So guys, this chronograph's a little bit on the thicker side, but that's okay. It utilizes a Valjoux 7750, so we've all seen it, we all know it. I think we all love it. I mean, every Valjoux 7750 I've had, I've loved it. And one of my current 6 in my collection, my Raymond Weil, sports a Valjoux 7750 as well. It's a great little movement. I've had, you know the love affair I have with that piece. But I'm sort of bringing that here too with the Sinn, and it's crazy because it's about roughly $2,900 for this piece. You're really paying for that key feature, which is the copper dial. But again, much like a vintage chronograph, you have an acrylic crystal. So I like it, and this might be a misuse of the word, but as you know, the dial patinas, you also have an acrylic crystal that patinas along with the dial face. So I can just see this watch aging well. It's one of those pieces that you want to. It's gonna sound weird, but you want to grow old with it. You kind of want to keep around. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna become storied as you wear it, and I think it's absolutely stunning. Again, you know, that's sort of one of my prerequisites. I gotta like how it looks on my wrist. But unlike most modern Zinns, that I think most all Zinns have at least a 20 at most water resistant rating. This one has 10. It does utilize a screw down crown, so at 100 meters you could go swimming with it, and you could take a shower with it. It's not an absurd thing to do. So it is still great for everyday use. So, you know, at least in my collection, I've covered the sports dive watch range. I've got a nice chronograph, a really, really lovely chronograph that could be dressed up or dressed down. And with that copper dial, I mean, it's so neutral in tone that you could really wear it with anything on any occasion. And with the ball, I mean, that's the everyday watch. I mean, I think that watch is just stunning and irregular and just so fun. You can just wear that any day. So, yeah, I've got my ball, I've got my Omega, and I've got my Zinn. Those are my three, and I think I fit all of that under with a little bit more than $500 to spare. All brand new. All brand new. Yeah.
So my last pick. So I have a sporty watch and another sporty watch, right?
Yeah.
I guess the 38mm Zenith, you could sort of like dress that up if you wanted to put that on a nice black leather.
I can't believe that. It's only 38. It has so much presence.
Yeah, I think. So I would say Nomos Orion to get that dress watch.
Yeah.
But YOLO, I'm going with another sports watch. I'm going with a watch that I actually might get in the near future, maybe in 2017. I've wanted to try this watch for a while, and it is the Omega Seamaster Ceramic. I wanted to try one for the longest time. I saw it in
Professional.
Yeah, the Seamaster Professional, the SMPC. For short, what a lot of people call it, which is basically just the modern iteration of the Seamaster, kind of like yours.
Yeah.
Actually, shoot, you did pick a Seamaster. I'm doing the classic Seamaster Professional.
You're doing like
the black
new
one,
classic.
the black one with the ceramic bezel.
Those gloss, that gloss black dial.
Yeah, I'm going super cookie cutter with this pick, but
no, it's great.
You guys need to see this watch in person because it's almost like there's this, when you're looking at it, it's like a pool of ink, a never-ending pool of ink.
It's almost like looking into an inkwell.
Yeah, it really is. Right. It looks absolutely incredible in person. And because I would go blue if I went for the older like 90s
with
models.
Dial.
Yeah, but if I'm going the new version, it's 100% going to be the black dial.
I 100% agree with you.
New coaxial movement. I mean, it's, Omega's been pushing the boundaries with their coaxial escapements. So yeah, I mean, it's a modern watch that I've always wanted to try. Has a pretty unique bracelet, unique to the Seamaster Professional. One of probably the better bracelets on the market, and it's a little bit thick, but it's gonna be my third pick.
You know what's interesting?
3 sports watches, basically.
It's going to be weird referring to heritage in this sense, but I mean, as soon as that original Quartz Seamaster Professional came out, I mean, it was an instant classic.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree, like largely agree, that everyone loves that watch. It's hard not to like the Seamaster Professional because it fits the bill of just being a great dive watch mixed in with being a slick dress watch as well.
Right.
It's one of those dives that bridges the gap perfectly.
It's like the sub, It's Omega's answer to the Submariner. It's an all-arounder sort of. It could be your one watch.
I think it works better as a dress watch.
You like it more than this sub, don't you?
Oh, of course.
You do?
Here's the thing, guys. And I have to agree completely. I love the wave blue dial, but for these modern ceramic Seamaster Professionals, that gloss black dial. And I've held them in person. It is actually a watch I would really love to own as well. It is stunning. It is one of those pieces. Just go to an Omega. If you have a distributor nearby, you go to an Omega boutique and just check one out. It's totally worth it. And if you own one, I know some of our fans in the Facebook group own them. Post those pictures now. I love that watch. I really do love that watch. And do I like it more than the ceramic Submariner? I think I do.
Yeah.
I think I do. And I'm saving a lot of money if I'm playing this game. Geez, I buy the ceramic sub, I got nothing. I would have afforded just the Flieger. You get that Seamaster Professional. You're getting the helium escape valve is a little gimmicky, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, it's not like the automatic escape valves you see that again are sort of obligatory on dive watches these days. They're kind of sticking true to having that at the. It's like it's between 10 and 11.
Yeah.
But there's that little escape valve screw, and you can see it on some of the images. It makes the Seamaster the Professional rather, what it is. I wonder if there's a perk to it being manual like that as opposed to an automatic escape valve. I don't know. Maybe.
Probably not. They're just trying to stay true to the original design.
And I get it. But it's a great watch. It's a great choice.
And that takes up the rest of my 2500 basically. A good used one in like impeccable shape will run you about probably like 2500.
I've seen them like 23 to 25.
Anywhere from 2 to 2500.
So, yeah, it's a good way to squeeze in.
Yeah,
it's a good watch to squeeze in. I mean, I'm spending a lot more on mine. But that Professional, it's a great watch.
Stay tuned though, because I seriously might be buying a black SMPC in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll keep it, but at least to have for a little bit in review, I think, for sure.
Oh yeah, I'd love to talk about that watch on the channel. You know, I feel like the Seamaster Professional almost gets a little too much attention, but rightfully so. I don't think we've ever really talked about it on the show. We've both owned Seamaster Professionals. Have we ever talked about them on the show?
No, we'll borrow Pat's. He has an original automatic.
That'd be sick. At any rate, guys,
cool.
If you agree with our choices or you disagree with our choices, hit that like button.
Or hate them.
Or hate them. Yeah, but that's so fun about this sort of trial. It's so fun about this game. Is like, you know, within that budget, within those constraints, it's always fun to see the kind of choices you'd make. It's funny that we both pick Omega divers. I feel like in a lower end range.
But to fit it in 10,000, I mean, absolutely.
If the budget was $1,000, I feel like we would say,
well,
Seiko diver.
I'm trying to get creative too. Like, ultimately, if I could throw in some vintage, man, I would do, like I said, a 62 Moss. I'd probably do a vintage Speedmaster, and then maybe I'd do my 36mm Rolex Explorer. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many options you can do. There's so many things you can do with 10 grand. It's almost like we should have multiple episodes. Vintage for 10 grand, modern for 10 grand, all this for 10 grand.
Get ready for those. But no, guys, if you like that idea, let us know. But also, what would you pick? 3 watches, the perfect 3-watch collection for $10,000. What would you pick? Let us know in the comment section down below. And also, guys, if you enjoy our content, follow us over on the Facebook group where we continue our conversations from here. Also, there's blogs there. God, we've got an Instagram page now that's very, very active. Really great community there. Completely different community. But if you're interested in just wrist candy or just good eye candy, if you enjoy watches, then you'll probably enjoy the Instagram page too. So check it out. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us today on this episode. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We always appreciate when our family grows a little bigger.
See you guys on the next one.